What happens when a match made in heaven turns into a life of hell? What happens when true love turns into a deadly game of extortion? And how did this match made in heaven lead a man to the grave? Hi, I'm Trevon the Dragon. Welcome to my True Crimes podcast, where I post true crimes, murder, mysteries both solved and unsolved, every week here on Trevon the Dragon channel. So, let's get to the case. The case of Xiangmao, how a millionaire lost everything in only 5 months. On the evening of September 6th, 2017, a message popped up on the popular chat platform called WePhone. It said that Xiangmao, the founder of WePhone, had been killed by his cunning wife, Zhai Xin Xin. The next day, Xiangmao was found dead after having committed suicide. So what happened and what led him to this moment? To find out all of that, let's go back to the beginning of the story. Xiangmao was born in Fujian province in 1980 in a rural area. He's the youngest of 5 siblings, and his parents and siblings took care of him. Him being the youngest of 5 siblings, and coming from a poor background, his parents obviously tried to take care of him, but as each sibling started to work and earn more and more money, they each contributed towards Xiangmao's education and got through school and then got him into college and to a good university. Su's classmates at university described him as very motivated, very hardworking, and he always took the initiative to learn and develop more. He also ended up helping his university lecturers with many things as well. And in time, he became a very accomplished student and eventually got his master's degree. After which he worked at Baidu, which is a famous software company in China, for 3 years. But Su knew that he wasn't destined to be an average employee at a company. In 2012, he founded WePhone. And WePhone is basically like a chatting app where you can use it to make phone calls to international numbers. And it's very useful. An app like this is very useful, especially if you're living in China. It allows you to connect with the outside world, make phone calls where you couldn't make phone calls before, because as you know, making international phone calls is very expensive. So Xiangmao came up with a very good solution, and WePhone took off. This app made Xiangmao lots of money, and he became really successful, becoming a multi-millionaire within a short time. Su started to pay back his family for the kindness that they had shown him. He bought a house for his parents in their countryside, in their hometown, and he gave them about $30,000 a year for their retirement. In addition, he also offered to help his siblings' children, his nieces and nephews, by offering them the chance to study at university if they wanted to. So, if they wanted to study at university, Xiangmao said that he would pay for their tuition fees, whichever niece and nephew. So he offered this to all of his nieces and nephews in a way to take care of his family that had taken care of him in the past. Xiangmao had a lot of success in business ventures. However, he had not had the same success in his love life. And because he was getting old, around 37 years old, his parents were starting to get worried about him. They wanted to have grandchildren, and they wanted Su to find somebody that he could share his life with. So, Su decided to go on a quest to find someone. Previously, Su had met women before that had been introduced to him by his family and his friends. However, none of those women stood out to him. See, Su had been looking for a particular type of woman, somebody who was beautiful, feminine, family-orientated, and also it would help if the woman had a Beijing residency, so that their future children may have a good education in Beijing. So Su signed up to be a premium member of a dating site called Zhai Xin Dating, and they set him up. Zhai Xin Dating had set him up on a date. On 30th March 2017, Su met Zhai Xin Xin at the dating office. Zhai Xin Xin, or Cindy as we will call her, was born in November 1986 in Tai'an City, Shandong Province, China. Her father was a university teacher at Shandong University of Science and Technology, and her mother worked as an accountant at the same university. So she came from a very good background, a very good and well-off family. In addition, her uncle was a powerful government official who influenced the police and police work. Cindy received her bachelor's degree in civil engineering from the same university that her father worked in, and she got her master's degree from Beijing Zhaochang University. So this was a report that the dating company had put out about Cindy. She is 170 centimeters tall. She's unmarried, studied at the University of California. She has a good job in the government with a monthly income of over $3,000. And she has a household registration in Beijing. Sometimes people who come from a privileged background can have bad habits, such as being materialistic, bad habits with spending money, having drinking problems, gambling addictions, and other addictions also. However, Cindy didn't have any of these issues. She never went drinking. She doesn't go to nightclubs. She can use the same handbag for over 2 years. She loves her family, and the dating company said that she is a suitable candidate for a wife. So they met at the dating office. They didn't talk much, but they exchanged contact information. Later, Su went home, he didn't think much of that date. But Cindy contacted Su and asked him out. And Su was quite happy. He was very excited. And they went out, and Cindy told Su that she was only in a relationship once during her college years. She had only been in love once. As fate would have it, Cindy and Su shared the same lunar birthday. And Cindy apparently had fallen very quickly to take a liking to Su. She had said that maybe it was love at first sight. She told Su that she's never met anyone like Su. She's never met anyone who had she had the same connection with, and that their connection was something incredible. And Cindy said that this love was special, that this love is a gift from God. And Cindy said that she wanted to have Sue's babies, that she feels so good about him, like he makes her feel really, really good. Sue couldn't believe it. He was over the moon. He was so happy. He was overjoyed. And he began to fall deeper and deeper in love with Cindy. And they began to talk every day. One day, Cindy sent Sue a picture of a villa. And Sue was curious about this picture, so he asked Cindy, "Is this yours?" And Cindy replied, "Yes, this is my villa." And in response to that, Sue had to think about this. Why would she send him a picture of the villa that she had owned? She had said that this is the villa that she had owned. This is how much the villa cost. And this is how much of money she makes and how much of money she has. This was a multi-layered message. On the surface, it seems like Cindy was telling Sue, "Look, I know you have a lot of money, but I also have a lot of money, and so I don't need your money. And I'm with you because I really like you." But maybe, if you dig deeper, and I believe Sue was digging deeper, he sensed that this message to him was about, "Hey, I have this villa, I own this much money. So in order to take care of me, in order to take care of our children, I need to know that you can earn more than me, that you can be able to meet my expectations and sustain a good life, an even better life than the one I have now." So in order to show his financial capability of taking care of a woman like Cindy, Sue sent her screenshots of his financial information, his stocks, his bonds, and his property. So one day, Sue and Cindy were going out, and they came across this car show, and Cindy saw this red Tesla that she really wanted. And I don't have to explain about Teslas, but they're really good, really prestigious, really expensive cars. And this model was worth 140,000 USD. Cindy really wants this car, and Sue, wanting to show his ability to take care of her, bought her this brand new Tesla. However, when she was so happy about this, and she had posted this picture on her social media to show that she had bought a Tesla. However, she did not mention Sue at all in her post. So Sue had taken Cindy to his workplace, and he had also taken Cindy to meet his friends. His friends were obviously very interested to meet Cindy, and they asked Cindy, "So, what do you like about our friend Sue?" Cindy had responded, "I like his sense of humor." However, this response had confused her friends because Xiangmao did not have a sense of humor. He did not have any sense of humor. He was a serious, straight guy. Even though Sue had taken Cindy to his workplace and met his friends, Cindy had not introduced Sue to her friends or taken him to her workplace. So Sue took his girlfriend Cindy to meet his family. They went to his hometown in Fujian, and she was so nice. Sue's family loved her. She helps around the house with chores. She was very nice. She was even holding Sue's mom's hand when they walked outside or they went anywhere. And Sue's family liked Cindy a lot. Sue was confident now more than ever that with his parents' blessing, that Cindy would be the girl that he would marry. After that, Sue had taken Cindy on a little trip to a city called Sanya, which is the Hawaii of China. Beautiful seaside city where people go to have their vacations and enjoy themselves at the beach. Cindy had noticed a beautiful apartment at the seaside, and she wanted this apartment and asked Sue to purchase this apartment for her. Sue, understanding that this apartment would be sort of a bride gift to her, a part of her bride price, decided to buy the apartment for him and her, knowing that they will get married soon. So Sue wanted to also negotiate and speak to the agent. However, Cindy had told Sue that this agent speaks in a Hainan dialect, so Sue wouldn't understand him. However, this was a little strange since Mandarin is a standard language and most everyone can speak Mandarin, even people that speak in a city dialect. Now Sue wanted to purchase this apartment using a mortgage. However, Cindy wanted him to purchase it via cash, and Sue and her fought about it, but Sue decided to take a mortgage on this house anyway. So they both signed their names on the lease and were both co-owners of this beautiful apartment in Sanya. Their way back from Sanya, Sue and Cindy took a trip to Hong Kong and Macau. And during that trip, Cindy, who was very unmaterialistic, all of a sudden became a materialistic person. During that trip, Sue bought Cindy the following items: Dior shoes worth $1,300, a Louis Vuitton bag worth $2,000, a Cartier diamond ring worth $36,000, a Ramona suitcase worth $600, a Fendi backpack worth $2,000, Chanel shoes $1,250, Cartier earrings and necklace $12,000, and the hotel and food costs came to about $3,000. So in this trip alone, Sue had spent about $60,000. That's 360,000 RMB or 800,000 rand in this one trip. Sue noticed some red flags. Cindy had 2 WeChat accounts, so it was possible that she was keeping some secrets from him. In addition, the lunar birthday that they both shared was not her actual lunar birthday. On 31st May 2017, Cindy wanted to get married. Cindy had told Sue on that day, "I had a dream that I got married and I had gotten divorced the same day." And Sue was a little puzzled by what Cindy had said, and he said, "Have you been married before?" And Cindy said, "Yes, actually I was married before. It was to a man named Li Tianzhen. We got married because Li was my friend and I wanted to help him obtain a residence in Beijing. So we got married for a few months and we got divorced. And Sue said, okay, can I call Li Tianjin to confirm this? And Cindy said, no, me and Li Tianjin do not chat anymore. We have a bad relationship these days. We ended things on bad terms. And so Sue, having these doubts in his heart now that he found out that Cindy was married, decided to wait a little before getting married to her, which is perfectly reasonable to have doubts, especially after finding out that she was keeping the fact that she had been married before away from him. Cindy, however, wasn't understanding that Sue needed time to process this, so she got upset. She packed all her stuff in a suitcase and left. Sue apologized. He went to her community and he waited for a few hours. Eventually, she forgave him for what he was doing, for him questioning her. However, this reaction should have raised a lot of red flags in Sue's mind. So Sue still wanted to see the divorce papers. But Cindy said, so Sue wanted to see the divorce papers. But Cindy asked Sue for 130,000 RMB. She said that because he had costed her, he had forced her to get the papers, she would have to pay money, and he needed to compensate her because she, in order to change her marriage from divorced to unmarried, she would have to pay money to some organization in order to get that divorce papers. So she asked Sue for 130,000 RMB. And I know this sounds confusing because I'm also confused by this. So eventually, Sue decided, you know what? I'm confused also, but let me just pay the money and see this divorce certificate. So Sue read the divorce agreement. The man's name was not Li Tianjin, but someone with the surname Liu. They got married in January 2011 and got divorced in April of that year. So they were married for 3 months, not a few days, as Cindy had previously said. In addition, Cindy had gotten $30,000 from this man, Liu. And Sue said, wait, from what you told me and what I'm reading on the certificate, there's differences. Why? So this made Sue feel uneasy, and he told Cindy, we don't have to rush to get married. Let me think about what I've heard. Let me think about the things you have told me. And then we can get married after my head is cleared. However, this made Cindy very angry. She fought with Sue and she punched him in the eye. And then she ran off. She told Sue, I changed my status from unmarried to divorced because of you. I went through all this trouble because of you. I told my family we're getting married. I told my friends we're getting married. And now we have to move the date. She ran away, and Sue went to her apartment complex, to her community, to apologize to her and tell her sorry. Sue had asked Cindy whether her declaration of love at first sight was true, whether she really meant it. Cindy told him to shut up and think about his actions. She told Sue that I wasn't even supposed to be married to you. You have a disease called hepatitis B. So Su Xiangmao had a disease called hepatitis B, which he was a carrier of the disease. He wasn't actually affected by this disease, and this disease is manageable to live with. It's not contagious, and even if you get married with a person that's doesn't have the gene to carry it, that person is totally fine. But Cindy started berating Sue for having hepatitis B. And Sue just tried to apologize. He went to her house, tried to apologize in person, begged and pleaded with her to take him back because he couldn't live without Cindy. He wanted that love from Cindy. Then Cindy said if Sue was truly sorry, he should give her 50,000 RMB, about $7,500 every day until she was satisfied. In addition, Cindy demanded compensation about 358,000 RMB, about $53,000 for the change in marital status. So Sue agreed to these terms, and in total Sue paid Cindy $200,000 to obtain the marriage certificate. So the two of them officially registered their marriage on June 7th. Sue thought he finally had a family of his own, but little did he know that his life was about to take a dark turn. After marriage, Cindy refused to move in with Sue, claiming she had a fear of heights. Su Xiangmao's apartment in Beijing was on the 15th floor, and she claimed she had a fear of heights. However, lots of people live in high-rise buildings in China, so this is quite common. However, Sue moved in with Cindy instead in her villa, and that afternoon, Su Xiangmao met Cindy's father for the first time. One day, Sue received a message from a former blind date, and the blind date was asking Sue if they'd like to go out. However, Su Xiangmao had said that he was already married, and so the girl wished him good luck, and he wished the girl good luck also. And he said, you know, if you find a partner, good luck in finding a partner, and if you find a partner, maybe we can go on a double date together. And when Cindy found out about this, she got really angry. She accused Sue of having an inappropriate relationship. She accused Sue of cheating on her. She called him a scumbag and demanded a divorce. This happened just 10 days after their marriage. Sue apologized again and again, begging Cindy to forgive him. Sue even sent Cindy 50,000 RMB and promised to send another 200,000 RMB. Cindy replied, 1 million tomorrow, about $150,000. On June 18, at Cindy's request, Sue wrote a guarantee letter stating that if he initiated divorce in the future, he would compensate Cindy with about 5 million RMB, or about $750,000, and pay off the mortgage on the Hainan house for Cindy. With this guarantee letter in hand, Cindy threatened to divorce Sue over petty issues, citing Sue's unpredictable and cold personality. On June 22nd, Sue moved back into his own apartment, and Cindy, claiming a fear of heights, insisted that Sue sell the high-rise apartment and buy a villa. Now, this is probably because Sue had bought the apartment before they were married, so it was out of communal property. However, if Sue had to buy a new apartment now, that would be in communal property. So if Cindy and Sue had to get divorced now, then Cindy would have half the claim to that house. Cindy often mentioned her relatives in Beijing who lived in large houses, claiming that a woman should manage the family's finances. These events gradually made Sue aware of Cindy's materialistic nature. Because of Cindy's cunning and materialistic nature, Sue gradually fell out of love with her. Cindy was aware of Sue's suspicions of her, and so she gave him a long message, and she said, "Before marrying you, I had lots of money. The villa I own is in my own name. When I was on the dating sites, I met men with far better qualifications than you. And you're not that good looking. you're short, and you're a little older. I could have met better men. Also, you have a disease, hepatitis B. He repeatedly criticized Su, claiming that his speech was unclear, that he was unattractive, that he had a contagious disease, that he lacked gratefulness, that men in their 40s that had lots of money were quite common in Beijing, and she could have easily, and still can easily, find a better match than Su. His words severely hurt Su. On July 6th, Cindy sent Su a picture of a villa that was for sale. She claimed that Su's villa was too high, that his apartment was too high and it was too small, and that she wanted to live in a better house. She said, "If you're not willing to change, the only thing I can do is divorce and find a better man." She said, "Wow, this is really hard. All of this just for a house? Fine, let's get the divorce as you want." They said, "Okay, let's just stick to the letter for compensation." But Su said, "Look, I spent so much money on you already. Why do we have to stick to that compensation letter?" And Cindy insisted that not a single cent should change. She must be paid according to the compensation letter. Cindy said, "If you don't pay the money that you owe me, I will shut down your business. I will tell everybody that the business you're doing is illegal." Now, Xiangmao's business of WePhone wasn't operated in a gray area in China. It wasn't exactly clear whether it was legal or not. Previously, Su was involved in the VPN business, and that shut down. Cindy said she had an uncle in the law enforcement business that could definitely expose Su. On July 18th, Su, Xiangmao, and Cindy finally got their divorce agreement. There was a lot of back and forth between the two of them, but they finally came to an agreement. In that 41 days of marriage, Su spent over 13 million RMB, about $2 million, on Cindy. This was the contents of the divorce agreement. A settlement of $1.5 million, with Su paying $1 million upon signing, and the remaining $500,000 within 2 months after the divorce. So Su sold stock. He sold his company stocks and transferred money from the company account and paid Cindy $1 million. He also transferred ownership of the Hainan house that they had bought when they were in Sanya together over to Cindy. After the divorce, Cindy kept on pressuring Su to pay the remaining amount. She said that if you don't pay the remaining amount in time, I'm going to report your company as they're doing illegal activities. I'm going to tell my uncle to shut down your company. Once I report you, once I shut down your company, you will be listed as a defaulter for being unable to pay me. And you will not be able to take flights or leave the country. You will also lose possession of your house and most of your assets. But Su, after being milked dry for almost every penny, really had no money left. And he told Cindy, "How can I pay you? I have no money left. It's really difficult." And Cindy suggested options like, maybe you can take a mortgage out on the house that you have. Or maybe you can take a loan from the bank. Mortgage your house, take a loan against your house or your company. At this point, Su Xiangmao's family began to learn about the situation and came to Beijing. And they suggested that Su get a lawyer and start collecting evidence. Evidence of what this lady, Zhai Xin Xin, had done to him. and how she had orchestrated all of these events. Su and his family got a lawyer, and the lawyer advised Su to collect as much evidence as he can, and in the meantime, they should delay payment by saying that he needs time to raise the funds. Su asked Cindy for basically to let him go, let him off the hook easy. But Cindy said that nothing will change until she gets all of the money that's owed to her. She said, I will report you to the tax authorities. My uncle is very powerful and you will lose everything. But if I get my money, I will let you go and I will withdraw every complaint or every threat that I have made to you. During this time, Cindy had gotten a man to threaten Su, saying, we are from the authorities. We have heard how much you've caused trouble for our dear Cindy. Now pay up all the money that you owe to us, or else we will shut your company down. On September 7th, Su posted an announcement on WePhone saying that his wife, the evil Zhai Xin Xin, has caused him to commit suicide and die. When Zhai Xin Xin, or Cindy, had seen this, she responded to Su in this way. Replied that it was just a test post. And later on, while his sister was still living with him, he went up to the rooftop of the building and messaged his sister and said, this is so difficult. I really can't go on. So I can't take it anymore. I've left my phone unlocked, and on my phone is the record of everything that happened, all of the information, all of the documents, everything. I love you. I love my family, and I'm sorry that I have to go. So Xiangmao jumped off the rooftop of his building and jumped and fell to his death. Before taking his own life, Su wrote about his experiences with Cindy and shared everything online, revealing exactly what had happened to him. Su's family, obviously enraged, reported Cindy to the police for extortion and obviously for killing their son. However, this was a suicide, so there was nothing that could be done. The police did suggest, however, that they should decide to seek civil action against Cindy. After news about this case spread around China, Cindy's uncle went off saying he was in fact Cindy's uncle. However, he wasn't some big shot in law enforcement like Cindy had said. He was just a teacher, an orderly lecturer at university with no power to shut down Su's company. Tax authorities did, however, go to Su's company and check on WePhone, and they found no issues that WePhone was doing anything illegal. The public had also began to harass Cindy, and Cindy sent a message out on Weibo saying that she didn't do anything wrong. She had been unfairly harassed by the public, and that Su's death was not related to her. Rather, it was over the stress of making sure his company was tax compliant, and also the stress of Su Xiangmao's company not making enough money. As for her threatening Su, she said she was angry, and that's why she made those threats against him. And during that time, some text leaked between Cindy and her friends. She told her friends that she had met a guy in IT who had a lot of money. But the guy was short, ugly, old, and irritating. She said that she would take his money and just find a young guy to play around with. In July 2018, the court had a pre-trial meeting, and Su Xiangmao's lawyer checked the chat records of Cindy and realized that many chats had been missing. So obviously, Cindy had not provided all of the relevant chat information. So the court ordered Cindy to hand over her phone to them. Cindy refused this request. In 2019, people online had noticed that Cindy had rejoined the matchmaking or dating website where she had met Su Xiangmao in the first place. This made people very angry. In March 2023, the case was finally concluded. Cindy was found guilty. She was ordered to pay back $1.5 million and give cars to Su's family. Also, her ownership of the houses in Hainan and Beijing had been cancelled and probably given to Su Xiangmao's family. So after this case was concluded, many more things came to light about Cindy. It was found that she had been married before 3 times in the past, and all of these marriages started and ended in the same way. Started off quickly, got married quickly, and divorced quickly. And during each of these marriages, Cindy got a big payout. From each of her marriages, she got money, houses, and cars. So this is the way she was rich before she met Su. Also, it was speculated that Cindy might be involved in high-end companionship services, if you know what I mean. And this is how she was able to afford such a luxurious lifestyle to begin with. In 2023, Su's brother had revealed that Cindy, Zhai Xin Xin, had finally been arrested and charged for her crimes against Su. However, this was a little too late because no amount of money can bring back a son or a brother. When Su Xiangmao had first met Cindy, he thought that all his dreams had come true, that finally his fairy tale had begun. He had finally gotten the fairy tale ending to the life that he always wanted. However, this fairy tale, this dream, soon became a nightmare for Su. This case shows how, if you trust and believe the wrong people too quickly without taking the time to get to know who they truly are first, that even someone who is successful, smart, and rich can lose everything. This case, the story, is really sad, because even though the family got the money back, the houses back, the cars back, they can't get their son back. It shows how cruel the world can be and how vindictive some people can be. And it also shows what happens when you trust the wrong people and you don't take your time to get to know people. If Sue was alive, if I could go back and talk to Sue before he passed away, I would tell him that there's always a way out, that suicide is not the right answer. Unfortunately, this happened, and Xiangmao will be remembered as the man, the millionaire who lost everything in just a few months. So guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.